Well, hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Amazing Seller Podcast. This is episode number 371, and today I'm going to share with you one of our latest TAS Power Hours, which I feel is full of great information. And let me just give you a little background here on the TAS Power Hour and the way that really started. You know, myself and Chris Schaefer and Dom Sugar, we're good friends. We're also partners in a brand. But we tend to talk about this stuff, you know, on Skype. Like we'll hop on Skype and we'll just have a conversation. And we said, you know what would be really cool is if we could kind of do this and also let everyone kind of listen in. That's where the Power Hour kind of came from. And after I got back from Seller Summit, I had a lot of people say, love the TAS Power Hour. I love listening to Dom's stories because Dom has been doing this for over 15 plus years in this business, all the way from, you know, just regular retail brick and mortar to going online and starting there and eBay and then retail arbitrage and over the past few years, private label. So, you know, it's awesome for all of us to get on. Chris has got a wealth of information and I've dabbled in this Amazon space, as you guys know. So yeah, it's a way for us to jump on and kind of, you know, trade notes and talk about things that are happening right now and also what we see people struggling with. So this week, just to kind of give you some of the topics that we talk about trend products and bundles. We talk about accessory product challenges and ranking. And what that basically means is if you're building a product suite around a main product, how that can be a challenge and also how to rank. We also talk about the open brand. Again, we talk about the pros and the cons because we're all dabbling in both of those. We talk about launch costs. We talk a little bit about gambling. Actually, Dom brought up gambling and how it relates to private labeling or this whole online space. And we had a little disagreement there. Not too much, but we disagreed a little bit. But this entire episode is really full of great information. And that's why I'm airing it here on the podcast. If you guys want to attend one of our live TAS Power Hours, then you're definitely going to want to make sure that you are connected through Facebook, through the TAS community. If you're not part of that community, head over to theamazingseller.com/F as in Frank, B as in boy. And this way here, you never miss one of those TAS Power Hours, or at least you can go back and watch the replay because we do those live on Facebook and they'll be there inside of that community. One last thing before I turn it over to the recording is I wanted to remind you on the show notes, you'll probably want to download the show notes, the transcripts to this episode. And if you do, you can head over to theamazingseller.com/371. All right, so I'm going to stop talking now so you can enjoy this episode, this conversation that I had with my good friends, Mr. Chris Schaefer and Dom Sugar. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. What's been happening with you, Dom, this past week? What's been going on?
Same old, you know, just working with getting some new shipments in for the open brand and I think 2 or 3 ASINs for my other brands. And then some retail arbitrage stuff was always truckloads of stuff coming in. So that's basically it, you know, figuring out the logistics. And because we changed a few things. I'm doing a lot of direct to Amazon. So first couple times were not very smooth. So I'm trying to make sure that that process works good. Now I've heard it's pretty fast if you use DHL kind of stuff, you know, like Chris used, maybe you guys have used, but you know, when it's only 20, 30 cases, it's not bad, but I'm sending 10, 15,000 pieces. So
right.
It's a little crazier than that. And, you know, they love doing it by air. This goes, you know, to logistics freight forwarder, they bring it in bond and then they just deliver it to Amazon. But when it's with port fees and duties and all that stuff, it's a lot harder. So fight through that. And, you know, we heard back from a couple products that we got guided imports to look into. So those are 3 new products that we're getting ready to work on. And, you know, that's been a struggle this year. I find that just because we've got so much on the go with TAS and, you know, other stuff to go on, it's just, I haven't been able to say your issue. I haven't been able to focus on releasing more private label stuff. You know, we're used to doing 2, 3 a month, you know, now we're down to 1 a month or 2 every 2 months. So that's been the challenge for me this year. I just find that, you know, my focus isn't there right now. It is, but it isn't. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll do a couple hours here, a couple hours there instead of a whole week. So now all the people that I'm working with are like, okay, let's get this done. Or before I'd be after them, say, okay, hurry up. I want to get my order. Now they're emailing me and calling me and say, hey, what's going on? We haven't got your proofs or your UPC codes or your box images. So That's been a struggle, but again, that's also because we're trying to do product that's not really available on Amazon too, right? Chris and Scott, you guys know that because you know what the products are. So it's not like we're taking something that's already there and just making it a little bit better. We're actually, trying to launch products that maybe there's one or not even one person with that product. So we have to take from 2-3 factories and, amalgamate all those parts and stuff. So that's probably one of the reasons why it's been more difficult. But besides that,
I think before we move on from that, because some people would say, well, Scott, don't you think that you should launch products that are currently selling? And yes, we are. That's what we're doing. What we're doing, though, as a side little thing here, is we're trying to see a trend that could be happening that we can then compile a few different products together and make our own little package, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like we have something that we know is selling maybe in other marketplaces or whatever, and then we're able to then say, maybe this is something that's going to trend. We'll do a test order, and then we can kind of go. And that's kind of what we did with the one product that we launched with very little promotions and just some pay-per-click. And by the way, give me an update on that, Dom. I haven't checked in with you on that. How's that been doing?
Yeah, it slowed down for about a week there, and I thought, okay, this is it. It's like I said, we were doing 30, 40 a day, and it dropped down to like 15, 18, 20. And then yesterday was just, I think we did another 40, 50 units,
Nice.
Okay. I think we did 130 or 140 units, the open brand yesterday. And that's with limited stock because we're still trying to get my Christmas stock back in. So,
right.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing that it's still going. Again, we're the only one basically in the marketplace. There's a couple other people that have kind of got into it, but not the same type of product. Maybe the same, for the same main product, but the accessory is a little different than ours, or whatever it was. So
you know what I'm finding?
Yeah, it's still good.
You know what, Dom? I'm finding very similar situation in the new brand that we launched, which you know what that is. Yeah. We have let's see, how many SKUs do we have now, Chris? What is it? 1, 2 with variations? With variations, 4. Yeah, I think 4 with variations.
There's 4 in Amazon right now, yes.
Yeah, 4 in. There's more coming. But with that being said, there's not really any of those products that are being searched for. Okay?
Yeah.
The main product is being searched for, but we have accessories that are add-ons in a sense. And I'm finding that to be a little bit of a challenge, but I do know that eventually we'll start showing up as frequently bought together, or customers viewed this, also viewed this. And I'm also, we're getting ready to launch some products that are searched for, that are very highly searched for. And then that will lead people in. I'm starting to see it's starting to pick up a little bit with a couple of those SKUs. But that is one of the challenges, I think, that when you're trying to add an accessory for something, you're going after the main product, let's say, but you're adding accessories. People might not even know that those things are accessories at this time. They're not searching for them. But if they see them, they might want them. So I'm finding that to be a little bit of a struggle, but not really too concerned, because I know that once we get that cross promotion or frequently bought together, it'll start to kind of take on a life of its own. And then also the products that we're going to be launching are highly searched for. Those will get us in the game.
It's because your main keywords, just like we are in a product that we're talking about. Even when I first started 3-4 years ago, I had the same issue.
Same thing.
Because your main product is a big product, and people are searching that term. You're going to be on page 15 until you get a lot of until you move the algorithm. Now you might be that term plus another term, you'll show up. I mean, it depends how much PPC you're going to allocate to that actual term and all that type of stuff. I mean, we have the same thing in my second brand, the second company that I opened. We were an accessory, strict accessory, and we could never rank right away for the main keyword, just because there was, that those companies had 100 products. Right? Whether it was not even the same product, but the same company would launch different products. So you have to surpass all their products until you get up. Now we're at the top, right? Because all the accessory keywords, or the long tail keywords, we start ranking pretty fast on it. So I think with that product, you're going to have it. But again, because it's going to be a one-stop shop, right? It's the same way when you launch. I mean, that's why people like to launch a brand, whether it's your brand or whoever else is doing it, versus what we're doing with the open brand. Again, I like both models, but the brand model works because it's the same thing as a like a 7-Eleven now, or your your gas. They got gas. They got lottery. They got cigarettes. They've got fruit. They've got pop. They've got everything in there. You just go in and buy one thing. That's why Walmart. So now, right? They, because they have so much food, and that's why Amazon got in the groceries. Same reason. Right. One stop. You don't have to go anywhere else. You can buy all your Amazon except for perishables, which I think is going to start eventually, right? So
Amazon
once they
Fresh.
have perishables, you're Amazon Fresh, exactly. So why would you go anywhere else? It's the same concept. For your product, you can launch 25 things, even if you're not the most competitively priced. You could be $2 higher or $5 higher, and somebody's still going to buy it because they're just going to add it onto their cart and get to that $35 threshold. So that's one good thing about having a brand.
Yeah.
The bad thing about it is, if it's especially a trend brand, if that trend dies, your whole brand dies with it, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
if
you built your whole brand around an iPhone 4, you're pretty well finished until you do iPhones, right? Or if you did nothing but BlackBerry accessories, good luck.
Right.
Like you wouldn't make any money now, right? So that's the problem with doing it that way. I'm not saying that's
you would have to almost then plan the next move, right, in that brand. Right?
You'd have to pivot. You'd have to. You have a generic name. Like, it's not like you're calling it that product accessory. You could just turn into whatever the next item is. There's always, especially the space you're in, it's always turning every 2 to 3 months. There's new stuff coming out, and so you could just say, okay, I'm done with this type of stuff. We're going to move into this.
Right.
And that's it. That's the beauty of part of it. So and the best thing is you don't lose your feedback and all your history. Yeah. And all that. So
no, I agree. And I mean, again, there's pros and cons. And it was funny at the Seller Summit. I had a pretty packed room actually, which was pretty. I was surprised because I was going up against Steve Chu of his own event, and there was 2 tracks going, and I was talking about how to launch a product on Amazon without needing incentivized reviews. I talked a little bit about the open brand product and also the most recent launch that we did using an email list and all that stuff. And it was funny. I had a full packed room, which was amazing. And anyone that's watching, and there is some people that say they watch the TAS Power Hour. I want to thank you guys for showing up, supporting my presentation, and a lot of you said that you got a ton of value from that. But I got a lot of people that said, what do you mean for the open brand? What does that mean? And again, guys, if you guys are just tuning in and you don't know what we're talking about, an open brand is really having the flexibility under one main brand, like a main brand of XYZ wholesale or XYZ deals, and then you launch kitchen accessories and sporting outdoors or sporting goods, or maybe it's fishing, or maybe it's camping, or maybe it's toys or whatever, right? You're able to do that under that open brand umbrella. And then from there, it's kind of like a retail arb account in a sense, to where you can have miscellaneous things. It's just you're going to call yourself like XYZ deals or whatever. And that gives you the flexibility. And someone asked me, Scott, if you were to start from scratch, what would you do? If I didn't have any type of direction or brand in mind, I would do the open brand without any question, because it gives you that freedom of testing really quickly, rapidly. And then you can move and say, okay, you know what, that didn't really take off, so I'm going to go ahead and try something else. And then you can keep playing with that. But if you had some direction, or maybe you already have a brick and mortar store and you're into, some type of accessory, for camping, or maybe you are a sports and outdoors store or whatever, then your natural next move is to put it on Amazon. And if you do that, then, we met a company, Chris, there, they're doing millions of dollars on their own site, and now they've graduated and went over to Amazon, and they're just scratching the surface. And they ran out of inventory in Amazon, and it tells you how much money you lost because you didn't actually get to sell that. Their screenshot, Dom, was $980,000 that they lost because they ran out of inventory. Okay?
Selling $5,000 canoes? Holy, that's a lot of money. That's crazy.
No. Actually, they're not. They're actually selling little trinkety type stuff that's probably what, Chris, $20 to $30?
It's anywhere $20 to $100.
All right, so $20 to $100 cart. So, but they're doing massive amounts of volume on their own sites.
I was blown away, and I want to say thanks to everybody. We did get a lot of Power Hour love at Seller Summit, and that was always followed up with what we brought up earlier, which was a little bit of love for Dom and just a little disappointment that he wasn't there with us as well. So, Power Hour is gaining some traction.
I know. Chris, man, your audio's a little choppy, but I think we understood you. I think you said that it's gaining some traction.
He's running 30 down, 37, 30 up, 7 down, or whatever it is in his head over there. What's going on? Oh man.
All right. So the other thing
that's what we want, though.
Yeah, exactly. I want to answer some questions. It seems like we've got a bunch of questions coming in as well. A bunch of people are on right now. Guys, do me a favor. Like I said, share this, like it, whatever you can do to give it a little bit of love. Keep us coming back. We don't want to not do the TAS Power Hour, but if you guys keep showing up, we'll keep coming back. So definitely want to see any questions you guys have. If we can help you guys, we definitely want to do that. I also want to talk about the email that actually it's not even been sent out yet. It's going to be sent out at like 3:30. I think I'm going to send it out. But, I talk a little bit about in there, like, people came up to me. They're like, Scott, what is the secret formula? Like, if no one's listening, like, can you tell me, like, what do you guys talk, like, what do you and Dom and Chris talk about behind the scenes that you don't, like, really let everyone know about? Like, what's the secrets? Like, and I'm like, there is none.
KFC, KFC, you sold KFC.
Yeah.
12 herbs and spices. That's what it is.
Yeah. So, here's the deal. And it kind of annoys me that there's some people in our community that build up hype around the tactics and strategies and hacks and all these things that get us interested, right? Mm-hmm. I went on a little bit of a rant in my email, just a very little rant. It's not too much, but just a little rant. But I went through like everything that it takes. And we just did our workshop last night. And our workshop, guys, if you guys did not attend that, definitely check that out because we're not going to be doing another workshop for about 6 to 8 weeks. We're taking a little bit of a break because I'm going to be traveling a little bit. We've got some plans to go to Mexico, like you heard, with Dom and family. And we also are doing a North Carolina meetup, which we are almost confirmed on the meetup location. I got a funny story about that too. Remind me to share that story. It comes down to really just doing exactly what we're saying, but also being willing to put in the work. So many people think that there's this hack or there's this secret and then it's all of a sudden going to happen. It's not the case. Everyone I talked to there, they pretty much said their first product might not have been successful. And then they pivoted and then they went on to something else. Actually, I met a guy there that said he launched his first product. It did okay, but it just didn't do what he thought. He pivoted and now he's doing $250,000, right? Because he adjusted. He didn't abandon the model. The model works clearly. Dom, I ran into some people there too. It was amazing, blew me away. I had one lady she came up to me and she's like, Scott, I just want to let you know I'm a huge fan of the podcast. I've listened since day one. You guys are awesome. You've helped me so much. And oh, by the way, I've done $1.4 million since listening to your podcast. I'm like, okay, well, you need to email me that stuff because that gets me really, really fired up to get back on and look into this microphone and start broadcasting, right?
Did you ask her where your 10% was?
Yeah, right.
Have you ever noticed that statement's always prefaced with, I've only done
Yeah.
24 million.
But she also went on to say that it wasn't all easy. I had to, had some growing pains. I had to figure this out. This didn't work. My freight forwarder did this, yada, yada, yada. But she goes, but I didn't, I expected that. Like, it's business. Like, and these were, her and her husband are from the corporate world. So the funny thing is, I met her and then I left and went on to the next room and I started talking to other people. And then I came back out and I started talking to this guy. And this guy's like, hey, Scott, I want to let you know I'm a big, listener of the podcast. And he keeps going through it. Come to find out, it's her husband. So it's husband and wife team. They came to me. They both told me a similar story. And then it was just funny. We all laughed. We said, wow, well, I got to hear the story twice. So that was really awesome. Had another guy come up to me, actually a young guy, a landscaper. He said, Scott, I just want to let you know, I've been listening to you for probably about 8-9 months. I took action. I went out there. I listened to you as I was doing people's lawns. I owned a landscaping company. And he was like, I think, how old was he? Probably like 25 or less than 30. And he's done over $500,000 since starting. And he's like, Scott, man, I just owe it all to you. And actually, Dom, he's from Hawaii. So he already said we've got connections in Hawaii. Nice. So when we're ready, he said he'll take care of us. And then the other thing is, he said he shared what he's doing. January. Yeah. He shared what he's doing with a 16-year-old, and that 16-year-old now is crushing it on Amazon. He said.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I've said that to proponents, even the guys in my warehouse here, or our staff. I'm like, guys, you got to jump on this. You see me talking about it every day. You guys are in the retail arb. You help me, list stuff and. You guys are 20, 21, 22. I mean, I wish I had this opportunity when I was your age.
Yeah.
I honestly, we could, I'd be retired at 40 if I did. Seriously, like that's just the way it would work, because you can, in 10 years, you can build up a lot of products.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So you got to take advantage of it. And they've got, we don't have that advantage. We're in our 40s, almost 50s. Well, it's not Chris, but
Chris
me and you.
Come on.
She's still a good guy. But you know what I'm saying, right? Like we're starting late. My retail ARB started when I was in my mid-20s, but again, the scalability of private label.
You put in the work.
It's
work. And that's another thing that I went on a little rant. I'm like, people come up and go, Scott, man, you got so lucky. That's awesome. And I'm like, go back and listen to episode 300. Yeah. I've done a lot to get where I am. And Charles just says, meet up in Hawaii. I like it. Charles was there as well. Charles was looking for you too, Dom. Charles.
That's good.
Charles, North man, Carolina. I just want to say awesome meeting you again there and hanging out with you. And you're always a rock star. I want to thank you so much for being a huge supporter of TAS. You're awesome, Charles, and you're doing some amazing things as well. But yeah, definitely Hawaii. That sounds fun. But yeah, you put in the work, Dom. Like, let's not ignore that, right?
No, we've said that from the beginning. I put 20 years of stumbling over myself to get where we are now. Totally. To have, a high level retail ARB and 3 to 4 big companies on Amazon, separated with partners, my family, all that stuff. It just happened. I didn't create hundreds of ASINs myself, but I had to work for that. It's the same thing. Everyone asks me the same question. How do you do it? Like, you seem to know what you're doing. You have the magic touch. I get that all the time. I said, it's not really that. I said, if somebody says don't release the garlic press, I don't release it.
Right.
If we talk about a product on here, or Greg Mercer talks about a product, I'm not going to go release that product, because 100 other people are going to do the same thing because they think because he's showing that it sells, right? I'm just using that example. So, and then you got to trip over yourself, and you got to be here it is. Nick Gamble's a perfect person. You got to be able to gamble, right? You got to. He gambled. His last name's Gamble, and he's doing well. You got to be able to lose that $1,000 and not think about it twice. And I always use a casino reference. You guys know that. I've said it a million times. You walk at a casino, you got to know you're able to lose that $1,000. If you lose that $1,000 and you can't pay your rent tomorrow, it's not a good business right now.
The one difference, Dom, is when you throw $1,000 at something and then you see if it works or not, you take education away from that.
Yeah, you're
on the roulette table. You don't really gain anything other than holy crap! I just lost $1,000. Right?
Yeah, I'm just saying that if you fail, at least you already know yourself. Okay, the positive, negative thing. I don't expect to make lots of money today. Oh my God, I walked out with $1,000. You're already downplaying your success. And if you don't win, you're okay. You're not really mad. And if you do win, you're really happy. So It's the same thing with private label. And again, you just have to. It's all, again, we said a million times, all product selection, guys. It's really what it is.
It's product selection and willing to pivot when you need to pivot, right? Yeah, and then don't marry a product.
And that's why the open brand is good, because I've seen so many people that get into the brand company, they release the first, go to the second. By the time they get their third product, it's so saturated. They're like, what am I going to do now? I'm already 2 products in. Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? Just do the open brand then. Go into another category then. Mm-hmm. Like, don't give up. Like, it's not, and that's how we kind of started the open brand, Scott, is, after our third brand, our third account, we're like, okay, we got, a bunch of products up, and like, oh man, we want to release this other product that was going to sell for like $30, and it was just saturated. So we kind of got a dead end. And I got, I forget about this. I'm not going to fight with these brands anymore. I'm just going to start releasing whatever I want to release, whenever I want to, and take advantage of it that way. So yeah, there's really no secret sauce. Yes, there's a lot of hype. There's still a lot of hype in this game. There's a lot of false information, or you get quick hype. This is going to happen.
Like, it's like, let's make it sexy, right? Like, let's make
the
new hack, the new this, the new that. You know what I mean? It takes work. And I like hearing. Listen, to me, to hear somebody comes up to me and say, "Look, I did $12,000 this year, or I did $8,000 so this far this month, the private label." That's good, because what did you make last month? Nothing. Yeah,
zero.
Right.
So 12,000 or 50,000 for the whole year, or 3,000 times 12 months. Like, it doesn't have to be 1.5 million. It doesn't have to be. Again, these are the really success stories, and yes, everybody wants that freedom, and they want that. For me to get to those levels, I've had to work a lot of time to do that, and we're at those levels. And you know what? We're still releasing stuff. I could stop today and not have to release one more product. I could get rid of all my retail ARB now and just do private label if I wanted to. But why, right? Because we're successful at both. We can handle both, and
Well, let's talk to your wife about that second part there.
Well, yeah. She doesn't like. She gets scared when she hears and these big semi trucks are coming in and dropping off.
She's like, "What did you order now, Dom?" Well, I cleared out that other liquidation there over there. I know we can sell it. You got to realize I could buy it for $1 and sell it for 10. Come on, it's free money.
Even today, I looked at 35 more skids of 35 more pallets of media stuff. I mean, it's hard. At a couple $100 a pallet, and there's $5,000-$10,000 worth of stuff on the pallet. It's hard to say no to. I mean, people would love to be in my position for retail arb, right?
Sure.
And they want to get my stuff. They want to get this type of stuff. So I kind of like, and it's a competitive thing too. You don't want anybody else to take it because I know if I don't take it, the next guy, eBay, right. Amazon, they're going to put it on eBay and Amazon and compete against me. So yeah, I know you're right. I mean, the love would be transitioned strictly to private label, but I think I'll always have that. I like to buy stuff. And you can't buy. When I buy private label, it's just 10,000 pieces of one thing. Right. When I buy retail arb, it's 10,000 mixed. It could be 300 this, 200 that. So,
right.
Yeah, I don't think there's any secret thing. We everyone on this panel, you, me, Chris, we're all successful because we put time in it. We started at the bottom, but we also learned our work ethic when we were kids. Working, like I said, in my variety store when I was 13 years old. And working 2-3 jobs when I was in high school to pay for my insurance. Even though my parents were well off and stuff, they still said, look, you have to pay your insurance, you have to pay your gas. So I worked at a grocery store and I worked at a sign place to make signs. And, the generation now, it's like, okay, give me an iPad and a phone. I'm going to sit in my room for 4 hours because I know I deal with my daughter. And, it's like give, take. It's always take. So this is, and again, this is the only business model that I've known, and I've been in lots, whether it's wholesale or drop shipping or brokering or door to door or telemarketing, or the only business, if you put your work into it and you do your research right, you can have a successful business within a year. Yep. And there's no way most businesses lose money for 2 to 3 to 4 years. Any brick and mortar store, ask anybody, unless you open up a something that's hype. Like if you open up a UFC store when UFC was hot, or a scrapbooking store when scrapbooking was really hot. But then where are those stores now? They're on my emails, closing, bankrupt, because they went a brick and mortar trend. They thought they could, for great 2-3 years they made lots of money, and now because they didn't pivot. They didn't say, okay. So anyways.
Okay. What I want to do here really quickly, Chris, I know we've got questions probably coming in. If you have questions, put them in the chat. Here I am pointing with a pen now. What am I doing? So put in your questions. I did want to say something here. Again, I got a lot of stuff I want to share about this weekend because it was just awesome. I did a roundtable session with people that had attended my or that wanted to attend that were at my presentation. The one thing that people said to me, they said, Scott, like when you first start, when you launch a product, when do you start to, or not even that, like I don't want to lose money. Like I want to be able to just sell the product and make money. Like I don't want to put my order in or my inventory in and then sell something and not make money. And I go, well, number one, that's the wrong mindset. And I like to go back and give this, and it's funny. Here's a story for you. I'm sitting there, and basically this is what I shared. I said, listen, people have been doing this for years. If you have a brand new store, brick and mortar, no one knows that you're here. You're going to run a grand opening something, right? Newspaper ads, maybe billboards. You're going to let people know, radio. And then you're going to have like a tent with hot dogs and hamburgers, and you're going to have the clown, and you're going to have the bouncy bounces and all this stuff. And then you're hoping that people are going to go, oh, cool, I'm here. I might as well create a new bank account because I'm at the bank, right? Or, oh, these guys are really family orientated. I want to do business with them, right? That's what you're hoping for. And people are all like, oh, okay, I get it. And I'm like, so private labeling, it's the same thing. When we're first getting our order in there and when we're starting to do our little launch, we're basically not thinking we're going to make money right out of the gate. Like we're just saying, this is part of our promotion. This is part of the way that we can get seen because Amazon is going to give us love after we give sales, right? That's what they do. And then we start to rank, then we start to get eyeballs, all of that stuff. As soon as I got done talking about that, everybody got it. They agreed. Okay, I get it now. I get it. I left that table and I had a gentleman walk up to me and goes, hey, I just wanted to tell you, I've been doing brick and mortar stuff for years, okay? We used to budget $10,000 for a grand opening. $10,000 for a grand opening on a brick and mortar. So you want to have maybe, let's say you order 1,000 units and you want to allocate 500 units as like your launching material. That's basically part of the process. Now, you might not have to do that as aggressively. Maybe it's not doing a 50% off discount like we just did. Maybe it's running pay-per-click heavily and not making money on the pay-per-click. It's getting that exposure. But understanding that the money that you're putting into it right now is really to build the foundation so you can be rooted. So this way here, you're like right now in our new brand, we're getting set and ready. So when the traffic starts coming in, especially when it gets hot, maybe even in fourth quarter, we're going to be rooted very deeply within this product line, okay, and within these keywords. So I just wanted to say that because I thought that was interesting that people weren't getting that. And then a gentleman came up to me and says, you were spot on with the grand opening example. It makes total sense. Chris, did you want to say something?
Yeah, the other thing, and let me know if I just start going Mr. Roboto on you. He said they didn't expect, he launched a series of stores and they projected them to be non-profitable for the first 3 years. Mm-hmm. So it was $10,000 to launch, and then they didn't expect to break even for 3 years. And Dom, you hit it right on the head earlier. This is one of the very few business models where you can be profitable very, very quickly, if not even on that first order. Mm-hmm. Right? And Scott, I know like we just did this, it's going to be right around break even on that first order for that first product, if not eke out a little bit of profit, even with doing that promotional stuff. Yeah. And that PPC. I know you and I were going through the second check that we got back from that brand last night. And we said, man, look at that. Look at how much we would have gotten back if we weren't running PPC. And then you kind of walk away from that and you go, oh, but we want to be rooted. We want to have that foundation, and we want to be in so that as we're doing this stuff, we can let the organic stuff take back over, and then we don't have to worry about it as much.
Yeah, and basically what Chris is talking about is there was like a 2 week, you know, you get paid every 2 weeks. Well, we kind of looked at our pay-per-click cost because our pay-per-click cost comes out of our pay, right? We have it going out of our pay versus going out of a credit card. So it was basically in 2 weeks we spent $611 on pay-per-click. Okay, and that was really to drive those sales. So we didn't make any money on that run, but we were able to get sales. We were able to get data too, by the way. This is important. We got a ton of great data. And I actually talked to our other business partner in this brand, and I mentioned the search term that's been being seen or being searched for through our broad that now is like, maybe we should launch one of them. So we got another product idea that we're already looking into because we know that it's getting a lot of impressions and it's getting clicks. And people have actually bought our product by searching for this other search term. They still went and bought our product. So just by that $600 that we spent, we got sales, we got on the map, and we got a ton of great data so far. So again, we're okay with that. Like, I'm happy with that. But it's funny when you look at it, you're like, I got $600 that I could have had in my pocket, but I wouldn't have gotten those sales. I wouldn't have gotten that data. What's that worth to you?
And that, to me, that even sounds pretty light for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it is.
I spend that in a day. I spend that in a day.
It helps that one of the products wasn't active for one of those 2 weeks.
That is true. We had a little bit of an issue there.
What we forget, though, Chris and Scott, is that, listen, you're going to be paying all that money up front, but you don't know what's going to happen when you get to fourth quarter. Amazon's going to thank you for giving them that money on PPC. Mm-hmm. And then when it's time and we start getting your algorithm moved up, you start doing sales, they're going to rank you a lot better because they've seen you've put money into those keywords. It's just the way it works. So, you're going to you're going to lose some money. They know you're losing money, and then they're going to start moving you around to bump you up on the keywords, get all that type of stuff. So I notice with every launch that we do, the same thing. It's frustrating right at the beginning. You're spending lots of money. You're not getting any rank, and then 2, 3, 4 months later, you're right at the top. You're ranking for keywords that you would never have ranked for before. And again, I mean, I always put it to the fact that Amazon's kind of just saying, okay, thanks for spending $300 a day with us.
Right.
We're gonna help you out now because you spent that much for 4 months.
Yeah, we feel bad, so we're gonna help you rank.
Yeah, well, that's basically what's happening, right? And that helps you. And
we took your money and ran.
It's also the easiest way I like to explain it too. When you enter this market or this business model, it's also just like entering into into a union or a seniority role. If you're working for, whatever, FedEx or the United Postal Service, any of those unions, that you start at the bottom. Like, you're not going to get that job that you get paid for 40, but you only work 25 because your route's so slow, or do you know what I'm saying? Those type of things. You got to work there for 20 years until you move up. These people have to work 25, 30 years before they can get to the best pay, to the best job because of the seniority. And it's the same thing with PPC. You just can't come in when there's 50 other people selling the same thing you're doing and expect, hey, I'm going to pay $10 a click and I'm going to be number one. You could do that. That's how we did it. But then you're going to be paying $400 or $500 a day on PPC on those keywords. And then eventually it does pay off 6 months, 8 months later. Again, I wouldn't go back and change it, but that's the reality. That's how it works. So if you want to do it that way, you can. You just better have money for PPC. If you want to take it nice and slow, 2, 3, 4, 500 every 2 weeks like you did, 600, you'll gradually get up there. Yep. It'll just be a patient thing.
It's being consistent, right? And we are going to dial that. We are going to dial that up. Yeah. Actually, right now we're fine tuning it. And like Chris said, we had one of our ASINs that actually we had Amazon lose, and then they reinstated it, and then it went down again as we made a change 3 times. Spent about 4 hours on the phone with Amazon, so it was a pain. But we got through it.
This thing is going to be the death of me.
And as you bring more products, when you get to your 5th product, you're averaging 8 things a day. Your 2nd product, now you're doing 12. Now you're going to do 16. You're going to do 24. And then next year you'll be doing 112. The next year after you'll be doing 250 a day. Do you know, like it just
it grows.
You need time. It doesn't. Yeah. And one out of 100 of us that are watching this right now are going to hit a home run, and that's the biggest thing, right? I notice you guys like to use my analogy all the time. I never get credit for it, but that's fine.
Okay,
but that's true.
Dom coined it, by the way.
Dom invented baseball.
I invented baseball as related to private label, right? Single, a double. You know, 1 out of 100 will hit a home run or a grand slam, basically, the first time they launch their product. You know, one of our best friends that's on here, he hit a home run, his first product. Sold 120, 140 a day, just like a couple of other guys from the TAS meetup that we had. A couple of guys, right? The truck driver guy, I can't remember his name, but he hit a home run right away. But you got to follow up with that. Do you understand? The home runs turn into singles, turn into outs, turn into, that type of thing. So,
but the home run might only last for a short period of time.
That's what I'm saying. You're only going to go on a streak. Yeah, you're going to be a streaky hitter. You're going to hit one here. You're not going to be 0 for 25. So you got to keep it up. But what I'm trying to say is that you can't just look at the guy that hit the home run that's doing 120 or 60, even 50, 60 a day, and he just relaunched. Because I hear, I'm selling right away. I'm already doing 50 a day. That's good. I'm really happy for those guys. But in reality, if you can do 8 to 10 a day, like you taught everybody, that's the realistic. Go to the next product. Then you got another 8. That's 16. And that's how you grow your business. But if you get stuck on the first product or not even launched in the first product, you can't even get to 10 products.
Right.
And once you start getting 10, 12, 15 ASINs, that's when the money starts really coming in. You look at your days. It used to be 150 a day. Now they're 1,400 a day. Then 2,000 a day. Then and that's what happens. But it takes time.
Yep.
It takes time, effort. You got it. You can't just do it one day a week and throw it down. It's got to be part of your lifestyle. You got to look at it. If you want to, I look at it this way. Anything you want. If you want to buy a brand new car, you save up for it. You pour that goal. You want to put your kids through a nicer school, you're going to put that goal. It's just like private label. If you want to be successful, you work your 40-hour week and you come in and you work 2-3 hours a day times 5 days a week, and then hopefully in a year from now it pays off. And that's just the way. That's all we do with Retail Arb. I always did the private label at nighttime. I still kind of do it like that. So,
Okay. It's a great point, and I want to move on from that, but you're 100% right. We can't bank on just the one product. Really quickly, Chris, I want to talk a little bit about Lightning Deals.
Go for
Uh-oh.
we got someone calling in.
Right, well, I'm on live right now. I'll call you back, okay? Bye. Bill, bye. He's mad because I mentioned him.
Hey,
hit a grand slam.
Don't get me laughing because I'm gonna start coughing like crazy over here.
Somebody in the back answer that phone. I'm on live here. We got 2,000 people watching us.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. So really quickly, Danielle actually wants to know, looking for your thoughts on Lightning Deals. Well, here's the thing. We got very quickly after we did our first launch, we got accepted for a couple of Lightning Deals, and we were all pumped up. Yeah, we're all pumped up about it, and we had actually a decent time too. I think one of them was like 5 o'clock at night, and one of them was like 10 o'clock in the morning. And honestly, neither of them did good, Dom. Neither of them. No, the first one did.
I'm surprised you got.
What's that?
For the new brand?
Yeah.
For the new brand.
Yeah.
Got them that fast. I've never heard. See that, guys? See how good the brand is selling? You already got Lightning Deals. Usually it takes months before.
Well, and that's good. Back to the whole, like, we launched out of the gate. We were able to get some sales coming through the door. They immediately opened up some Lightning Deals. But with that being said,
I want to. No. Hold on a second. Maybe that has to do because we're not doing the review thing anymore. They're giving away all the stuff for 80% off and 90% off. And they're saying, hey, you're not giving your stuff away. That stuff really doesn't count as a sale. We're not going to count it as a sale. We want you to have 50% or less, and then we'll count it as a sale. Then we'll offer you the Lightning Deal. I wonder if it has anything to do with that. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it totally does. And that may be the case because honestly, I don't think they gave us the exposure that we should have had. If they gave us the exposure, I think we would have blew out of our inventory. But we did very, very poorly, I felt. I think the first one we might have did 20.
Wow.
And then I think we allocated 100. And then I think the second one we did a little bit more. I think we might have did like 30.
Yeah.
Maybe we spent $150. We spent $150 on Lightning Deals. So again, there's another $300 that's out of my pocket. Part of the bill.
What I'm thinking, guys, is that you don't have enough history behind your account, so people haven't bookmarked you or saved you or know your product yet. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
maybe that could be it. I mean, I'm actually really surprised that you got a Lightning Deal that fast. I'm pretty impressed after a couple of weeks. I mean, but
there you go. We just impressed Dom Sugar. We just impressed Dom.
So as far as the units sold, it could be lots of things, right? It could be maybe your next one will do really good and people. How was your add-ons? Did you find that you sold more of the 3 products? Like what was your average sale or your UPTs for that?
No, it was pretty much the same that we've been selling. I mean, honestly, on one of our I guess on 2 of the products, we've been selling probably close to 8 to 10 a day already.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So maybe people are just tired of Lightning Deals. You know, when you keep doing the same thing over and over, people are like, it's not special anymore. It used to be, like Prime. If they did Prime Day once a week, nobody would care. Everyone would just buy them the Tuesday. Now everyone gets excited because it's twice a year. That's why it works. So
you know what? I actually said the same thing to myself. I said, you know what? I think now it's overdone, right? Yeah. So it's okay. I mean, I'm not saying it won't work. I just think that it's got to be the right timing. It's got to be the right offer too. Maybe we didn't discount it enough. I don't know. The right price.
I don't know what your discount was, but also, you know what? For a young up-and-coming company, I think it's good though because you're still doing 30, 40, 50, you did 50 sales within 2. Like, do you understand? Like, you're moving the algorithm. You're getting your history.
Yep.
So, I mean, for $150, you couldn't give away much stuff for $150 before. You know, I spent $200-300 to get 30 sales. You know, off the review clubs and stuff. So you got to kind of look at it as a positive. Like, I know what you're saying. You didn't get a lot of sales, so it could be a lot of attributes, but maybe it's a price point. If you only did 30 or 40, okay, but who knows? It could be a lot of things, right?
Yeah, and again, I'm not saying I won't do them again. I'm just saying, actually, we got another one. We already do have another one slated for, when is it, Chris? Like 2 weeks or something?
It's Prime Week.
We have a lot.
Oh, Prime Week. We did one for Prime Week, which Prime Week is actually $500.
Yeah, we do one, basically one a week on each brand. And the Open Brand, I haven't did too many of it because I really don't want to sell out of some of the stuff because it's, I don't order as much because we're testing a lot of stuff. But we do have a lot of Prime offers, about 3-4 out of all our ASINs, which is not a lot compared to the ASINs, but 3-4 is still pretty good. And I actually totally forgot about them. So thanks for bringing it up because I might, I should probably do one in the Open Brand.
I think we should. I think we should test it. I mean, I think it'd be interesting to test it. I know Nick Gamble said he's got a newer product that's got a Lightning Deal come up with very little reviews. So we'll see. We'll see on that. So yeah, guys, if you guys have any stats or any data, definitely email us, support@theamazingseller.com. It'll come over to us. We can actually see it, and maybe we can come back and talk about it on an upcoming TAS Power Hour. Again, guys, I want to show you guys like not just all the good, right? It's like everyone comes on and says everything's perfect all the time. Like we're gritty right now. Like we're getting in there, we're grinding, we're actually figuring this thing out. Everything is not going to work the same every single time. So I just want to, again, let you guys know that, we're going to try to kind of pull back the curtain as much as we can and give you guys as much details and data as we can. I know, Dom, I think that'd be a great experiment. If we run one in the Open Brand, test that, see what happens. We can report back and see what happens.
We could. I mean, one of them they're offering is one of our hot products, so I can't even keep it in stock. So I'm getting full retail for it. So we're not going to do that, right? So, but it makes no sense for there. But no matter what level you are, you're gonna have some hardships. You're gonna have frustrations. Like I said, every day they still have not changed the PPC. Your advertising budget versus what your campaign budget. And it drives me crazy that I'm off 60, 70. The budget says I'm at $98 and my campaign says I'm at $13. I'm like, guys, how are they not synced together? do you guys not work for each other? I don't get it. Oh no, they're working with the, and then try to use the app on an iPad now or a phone. Forget it. You can't scroll. You can't put your cursor inside the iPad to move up and down.
Yeah, but Dom, you're a little addicted. Here we are walking into the Raptors game, right? We're walking into the Raptors game, and Dom's got his iPad as we're walking in, adjusting his pay-per-click. I'm like, dude, put it away. Right, and then you thought he deleted everything. You thought you deleted the campaign.
That's right. And then what happened, because you stressed me out there, you told me to put it away because we paid $400 for tickets. I ended up actually putting on every campaign I ever put on. I spent $500 in about 2 hours that day. I'm like, what the heck? Why is my campaign done 2 hours after the game? I looked every single campaign I had, like 150 of them. I guess instead of pausing them, I turned them on, and I'm like, Dom
is officially addicted to pay-per-click and his iPad. I had to look over at him, and his wife even did. And I'm like, dude, put that away.
Yeah,
like we're here to watch.
You're right. I mean,
you're like, all right.
Yeah.
And then
if you want to know what
I got to go to the bathroom, and he's going to go there and be checking it in the stall.
If you want to know about PPC, that's right. She had to take it from me. Even when we're taking pictures, I'm trying to take pictures while my iPad. No, Look at it. I like PPC. I mean, I don't like it as I'm paying the money for it, but I like the way I'm trying to figure out how it works, and it's been an ongoing battle for 4 years. So So all right, we're like running late here, but let's just keep running here. I don't care. We can go a few minutes over if we've got time. Okay, so there you have it. There was our conversation all about, everything we just covered. We covered a ton of different topics and things. Really, I think, again, it kind of comes back to like products, right? We talked a lot about products and bundling and accessories and also launching and the open brand concept. Like all of those things, I think are things that we're dealing with on a daily basis. And I know a lot of you hear us talk a lot about the open brand or a regular brand. And we have two of those like running right now. Like we have an open brand and we also have a brand that we're building from scratch. I believe in both models, but I want you guys to understand that when you're first starting, the open brand may be a good way to start because you don't have to think about this is going to be it. Like this is going to be this big brand when all you're doing here is trying to find a market that you can kind of dive into and dabble in before you go all in. Hopefully that makes sense. But anyway, I love hanging out with those guys and hanging out with everyone on the Facebook group because, that's really where this all started is for us to do these on Facebook Lives and then answer some live Q&A. We did answer some live questions. I didn't put them on here because I wanted to keep this under an hour. But if you wanted to listen to the entire episode, you can head over to the show notes of this page. You'll see the video there as well with our mugs on there. So you can go check that out if you want to. I also cut some of the beginning out because again, it was just kind of stuff getting ready to do the Facebook Live. But if you want to listen to the whole thing or watch the whole thing, listen to those other questions. I think we went on for at least another 15 or 20 minutes answering the audience's questions. You can head over to theamazingseller.com/371. I'll have everything there. I'll have that video embedded. I'll have the show notes, the transcripts, all that stuff will be there for you guys. And again, guys, if you're not connected in the Facebook community, what are you waiting for? Like there's over 40,000 people in there right now talking about this business. So what better way to go over there? And even if you don't want to get involved, which I think you should, there's a search feature there. You can search past posts and learn through these conversations that are already happening. So definitely head over there. And not to mention, you'll get notified when we do a Facebook Live, which is to me something that will help you. And you'll be surrounded with like-minded people, which I've talked about before. All right, guys. So, all right, that's it. That's going to wrap up this episode. Remember, episode 371, the Facebook group, theamazingseller.com/F as in Frank, B as in boy. Go over there, get connected with like-minded people so you can grow your own Amazon or e-commerce business. All right, guys. So that's it. That's going to wrap it up. Let's end this thing strong today, guys. Remember that I'm here for you. I believe in you and I am rooting for you, but you have to, come on, say it with me. Say it loud, say it proud, take action. Have an awesome, amazing day, and I'll see you right back here on the next episode.